So how do you handle it when you as a worship leader get discouraged? Maybe people in the congregation aren't responding the way that you want them to. Maybe there's criticism. I don't know, lots of possibilities. But what do you do? My friend John Chevalier has some experience in this area, and I'm just going to let him talk to you for a few minutes.
I think one of the things that discourages a lot of us is people stuff. You don't feel like the congregation is responding, and I think it's important to realize that, you know what, we are all human. We all have the limitations of the human frame, and we don't know what's going on out there. Our team has come together at a rehearsal Wednesday night. We've kind of cleared our minds. We've got in touch with God. We have this great rehearsal. We're working on technical stuff, but by and large, it's kind of you feel a little lighter when you leave. You come in early on Sunday morning, and even if Saturday stunk, you have a chance to warm up, and you're with people, and you're ready to go on Sunday morning. God, you and I are right here. But that's not how people walk in the door. So don't underestimate what God is doing in the spiritual world. One of the prayers that I pray on a regular basis is, do that thing that you do between us and the congregation. And, in talking with a worship leader, I said, just remember that God has this amazing filter, amazing. It's better than anything you see in a show in Las Vegas. It's that just comes down between you and the people. And whatever you do on the platform, it kind of goes through this filter and it changes and it touches different individuals. And criticism is one of those things that's interpreted wrong, I think. If I get criticism, well, that's the only thing I'm going to think about. Forget the other 200 members of the church or 50 members of the church, however big your congregation is, that love you. One person, ran out with with their ears like this, and that's all the picture next week. And pastor once told me, and it was the best advice ever. He said, I was really waiting for this to happen. You need to hear some criticism. And he wasn't saying your head was getting too big or anything, but what he was saying is, if all you hear is praise, you're probably not pushing hard enough. You're probably not challenging people enough. If all you get is criticism, you're probably being too hard on people. You got to find that sweet spot where you're hearing both. And you know that you're pushing people to growth, but then you also know that you're blessing the socks off other people.
You're not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah, and knowing that and talking to them and then sharing them if you don't know what's going on in people's life. I had a couple in our congregation that they looked like you had Hallelujah Haven all over the worship center, and then the two Frozen Chosen right here. And they didn't move and they didn't do anything. And it was and they came up to me after the service, and long story short, I found out that that one of them had lost their voice and the other one just didn't want to have it in their face, so they didn't sing either. And that's the only reason. And they were very, very complimentary about me in the worship service. And I had no clue. You don't know what's going on the other side. You just have to be faithful.
So John's right. There's always going to be things that are discouraging for us as worship leaders. Things go wrong, people don't respond the way that you want them to, whatever. I mean, there's a myriad of things that can cause us to be discouraged as worship leaders. But I want to challenge you today to do what John said. Keep being faithful. Even in the midst of those things that are less than ideal, just kind of push those aside and recognize my role is to help to lead these people in worship. Keep doing it. You're never going to be able to eliminate all of those things. There's always going to be opportunities for you to be discouraged. But I want to challenge you again, don't take those opportunities. Don't allow those things to discourage you. Instead, keep moving forward and keep being faithful.
Brought to you by myworshipleadingcoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.